This is Channel 25 WVTT Olean. Now, from the Twin Tiers' biggest broadcast news operation, this is the 6 o'clock report with Jeff Andrulonis and Alexa Olson. Listen on News Radio 96.7 WVTT or watch on News Channel 25 WVTT television. WVTT proudly presents the 6 o'clock report.
Good evening, I'm Alexa Olson.
And I'm Jeff Andrulonis. Good evening. The big story tonight on the 6 o'clock report. The celebration for Team Obama continues as the president has won another four-year term in the White House. Team Obama won key battleground states including Virginia, Ohio, Iowa, and Colorado. The race was neck and neck for hours last night, making it too close to call for some time. Another race closer to home that was a little too close for comfort for some was the race for the 23rd Congressional District in New York's Southern Tier between incumbent Republican Tom Reed and Democrat challenger Nate Shinagawa. WVTT's Valerie Tysaner is live in the WVTT digital newsroom. She talked to voters both last night and today about their reaction to election 2012. Valerie, what did the voters have to say?
Hi, Jeff. They told me that they came out in full force last night to vote in the 23rd Congressional District. They wanted to make sure that their voice would be heard.
I think a lot of people are coming out this year, just more than 4 years ago.
I think right now we're running close to 65-67% voter turnout, which I think is phenomenal.
Election night was a time for community as people across the Twin Tiers gathered to watch the results.
I enjoy following politics. It's the best comedy show on TV.
And the vote between incumbent Tom Reed and Democratic challenger Nate Shinagawa was very close, as you can see here. Came out to be about 52% to 48%. Let me show you more. In the 23rd district, the reason this was so close is because there was a redistricting. That means that where this area was before historically Republican, there have been a lot more Democrats moved in. And going into the election, there were only about 5% more registered Democrats. However, in the final race, about 10 out of the 11 counties did end up going to Tom Reed. I did ask him for comment, and this is what he said.
We're going to work real hard to represent the 23rd Congressional District in Washington, and bottom line, it's time to get to work. We need to unite as a country to solve the problems that are coming down upon us. We need to deal with these.
The last check, Nate Shinagawa was about 5,000 votes behind. No one from his campaign has responded to my calls asking him for a comment. In the Senate race, Democrat Kristen Gillibrand has won. She beat her opponent, rival Wendy Long, and she won about 72% of the vote. This will be her first term. Looking now to the Olean Common Council. As you can see here, there are several wards. In Ward 3, Paul Gonzalez beat incumbent Tina Camry with about 62% of the vote. In Ward 5, incumbent Jim Finch won with a landslide. Voters chose him by about 78% over newcomer John Teachman. In Ward 1, incumbent Jim Brady did run unopposed. And here's more of those statistics. And the final election that I have to tell you about tonight does have to do with the Seneca Casino. And the president was just reelected. This will be his 5th term. Historically, they have allowed presidents to run more than once as long as it is not in a row, and he did run against 4 other opponents. His name is Barry Snyder Sr. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Valerie. One other race to tell you about in the Keystone State. Congressman Glenn Thompson will retain his seat in the U.S. Congress. He defended against Democrat challenger Charles Dumas. Thompson gathered almost 63% of the vote. And in the race for U.S. Senate in Pennsylvania, Senator Bob Casey, the incumbent, will continue to retain his Senate seat for another 6 years. He beat Tea Party favorite Tom Smith, capturing 53% at the polls. Alexa?
Well, Jeff, a Fredonia man charged with beating his girlfriend will walk free after the girlfriend didn't show up for court. 52-year-old William Prost was facing charges of harassment and criminal obstruction of breathing after he allegedly hit the victim in the face while covering her mouth and nose. But because the victim did not appear in court, the charges were dismissed. Prost is a retired corrections officer who worked at the Lakeview Shock Incarceration Facility.
A 77-year-old man from Fredonia is accused of allegedly sexually assaulting a 4-year-old girl. In the town of Sheridan, Arnold Blakely is charged with 4 counts of sexual abuse and 1 count of endangering the welfare of a child. An investigation started back in October. Blakely was arrested and posted a bail bond of $20,000 cash or $40,000 property.
Officials are still working tonight to determine the cause of a fire near Ridgeway that destroyed a garage and damaged 2 houses yesterday morning. Investigators say the fire started in the garage of a house on Route 219. Then flames spread to the adjacent home where 4 people were sleeping. They managed to escape unharmed, but the blaze did some damage to another nearby home. The damage, it's being estimated at $150,000.
In Olean, the Board of Education is putting one of its empty buildings back up for bid. At last night's meeting, the board voted 5-2 to put the Ivers J. Norton building up for rebid. That building has been empty since the summer after the board decided to consolidate their elementary schools. The building remains at the same bid price of $140,000. Now, the board tells WVTT there has been a lot of interest expressed in that school building in Olean.
Governor Andrew Cuomo today announced that several major state-chartered banks and mortgage services have agreed to offer relief for home mortgage borrowers in the areas affected by Storm Sandy. Now, state-chartered banks providing loan relief efforts include Apple Savings Bank, M&T Bank, New York Community Bank, and Hanover Community Bank, among others. Governor Cuomo says that he is relieved that major New York state-chartered banks and registered mortgage services have agreed to waive the fees and penalties so borrowers who are already facing the difficulties of expenses of recovering won't have that additional cost.
Bradford's annual Cruisin' into Christmas Holiday Parade is coming up very soon. It's scheduled to be held Friday, November 16th at 5:15 on Bradford's historic Main Street. The parade, organized by the Street Dreams Car Club, is being led by Bradford Mayor Tom Reel, the Bradford City Police Department, and Bradford Main Street Manager Colette Rosler. Santa Claus also makes an appearance in a 1963 Chevy convertible to conclude that parade.
And Jeff, Olean is getting in the holiday spirit. City crews have been busy hanging holiday decorations on street posts and have also decorated Lincoln Park with Christmas trees and lights. Local shops have also seen an increase of people coming into their stores to shop for holiday decorations. The day after Thanksgiving is the annual Santa Claus Lane Parade, which is the official start of the Christmas season here in Olean. Right, Jeff?
That's exactly right. Exciting to see all of those Christmas decorations up in the Twin Tiers. November is a time to remember memory, and the National Alzheimer's Foundation of America says Alzheimer's disease is a progressive degenerative disorder that attacks the brain's nerve cells or neurons, resulting in loss of memory, thinking, and language skills and behavioral change. Now, Tuesday, November 13th, is National Memory Screening Day. Many healthcare professionals are participating to provide free memory screenings. If you're worried about Alzheimer's, you can find a memory screening near you by visiting afascreenings.org. Coming up on the 6 o'clock report, lots of news, our first look at weather, and also on the way, our global news update. It's straight ahead. You stay tuned. This is News Channel 25 WVTT.